Harihi Om Sri Madhwacharya Narsimha Prasannaha Sri Gurubhyo Namah Paramagurubhyo Namah Sri Madhananda Tirtha Bhagavad Padacharya Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om. Welcome back to the third chapter where we are discussing about Bhagavad Gita and Geetha Bhashyam. Summary learnings by Sri Tikarayaru from Malkhed and Sri Raghavendra Swami from Mantralaya. Let us start with the invocation. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Quick recap, we discussed about, that what Lord Krishna was continuously trying to remind Arjuna that why performing karmas are important. And in doing so, he explained that Brahma Jnana or attaining Brahma Sthiti is the most important reward that one should look for. And he described about how Karma Marga and Jnana Yoga can help, and therefore these people are known as Karma Yogis and Jnana Yogis. We also discussed about an example of Priyavrat Maharaj, brother of Uttanapada, and his story and how it impacted performing the right karmas. We also understood that Nishkama Karma versus Sakama Karma, these are the two different types of karmas. And the one who is fooling himself, is known as Mithyachari. Last but not the least is why role models, leaders, managers, parents, elders, etc. need to follow and demonstrate the right karmas. So this is what we understood. Continuing further, Lord Krishna talks about how this whole Srishti was created and the purpose of it. So here Lord Brahma created the subjects and the yajnas. Over here, yajnas also means not only the sacred fire, but the various activities that we do, which we can be termed as yajnas, which we will learn further during this course. Then Lord Brahma advised all his subjects to perform the yajnas to please the deities, who would in turn fulfill their ambitions and aspirations. This mutually beneficial arrangement was set in motion by the Creator. If the subjects didn't offer a portion of their harvest, which they could obtain only on account of blessings of the deities, then it amounted to stealing a portion, which actually belonged to the divinities, and hence are punishable. Therefore, whatever karma that we are able to perform today, we should remember that it is because of the blessings of Tattva Abhimani Devata, Antargata, inside of that Parmatma himself. And therefore, we need to return back all the karmas to the Parmatma and get his blessings. This signifies the importance of offering by way of performing the yajnas to please the divine souls. This also demonstrates the importance of performing the karmas is the primary obligation of each and every object. Now, why is it the primary obligation? We will understand here in something which is known as Vishwachakra or the universe cycle, right? Imagine that all the subjects stop, or limit themselves to performing their karmas. Then this would upset the Vishwachakra. The question is, how? See, very simple. All living beings are dependent on food for their survival. The food is grown from the rain waters showered on the earth by Parjanya, the deity. Parjanya creates the rain clouds once he is pleased with the offerings offered to him in the yajnas. And therefore, performing yajnas is the important duty, is known as performing yajnas. Let us listen to this shloka which explains this concept more in detail. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhava yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha. So here, all living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, that is sacrificial fire, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. So you see, there is a direct linkage of what we perform is what we get back again in the form of a reward in terms of food. So if we stop performing this, then it is going to upset the Vishwachakra. And who inspires or instigates the karmas within ourselves? None other than Lord Parmatma. The God inspires us into performing good deeds only after he is pleased by the Vedic hymns rendered in his appreciation. Right? So if somebody has to praise the Lord, they have to be in existence. As simple as that. If they have to be in existence, means they need to perform their duties. And if they perform their duties and please the deities and the gods, they will be showered with the blessings of the Parmatma. And this cycle then continues. This is what is known as the universal cycle or the Vishwa Chakra. Now conversely, if the karmas are given up, right? So one would say, why should I do all the work? Let everybody else do it. So what happens is, one follows the other. No one is interested in performing the yajnas. If yajnas are not performed, then there is no question of parjanya, blessing with rains. No rains means no food, and no food ultimately leads to death of the subjects. And if the entire subjects are wiped out for want of food, who will praise the Lord with Vedic hymns? So by skipping the karmas, the entire Vishwa Chakra is imbalanced. So each one of us is equally important in the Vishwa Chakra, right? And are integral part of this Vishwa Chakra. Hence, it is once again Lord Krishna reminds Arjuna that it is paramount duty of an individual to perform the karmas. Moreover, it is highly impossible not to perform the karmas, because if you say, I am not doing anything, still you are doing something. How is it possible? An individual is always engaged in doing something physically or mentally or orally. So if you desist from doing your work, right, it doesn't mean you have left performing the karmas. Instead, you would surely engage in doing something else, which again is performing some karma. Thus, results in denouncing the karmas. It is better to partially complete one's mandated karmas than to fully accomplish some other karma which is not relevant to him. This is explained so beautifully in shloka number 35, of chapter 3, says that Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushtitat swadharme nidhanam shreyah paradharmo bhayavaha. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another's duty perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duty, for to follow another's path is dangerous. One is more honored if he dies while attending to his rightful duties, else there is a chance to reach Narakaloka, which is Lord Yama's abode. Thus, it is very important for all of us, including Arjuna, to perform his duties to ensure that the Vishwa Chakra is firmly on its rails. These words really, Arjuna started reflecting on all these words of wisdom shared by Lord Krishna. He is also aware that there are Tattva Abhimani Devatas who stimulate the karmas, and asks again Lord Krishna as to who induces to perform the karmas. Parmatma, ever smiling, omniscient, omnipresent, responds saying we cannot desist performing some karmas, which we should have left undone, and cannot execute some karmas, which we should have fulfilled as part of our mandated duties. So the question comes is, why does this happen? So Lord Krishna replies that Kama instigates karma. Kama also prompts Krodha. Kama is born from Rajoguna. Just an inanimate karma will not induce one into misdeeds. Let us understand this through another shloka. Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidadhyeyamiha vairinam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with material mode, of passion, and later transformed into anger, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. There is a Tattva Abhimani Daitya. Daitya is the opposite of Devata. That person is called Kalanemi, who is the Tattva Abhimani Daitya for Kama. Kalanemi stimulates one into performing the wicked acts. To overcome the mighty Kalanemi, one has to have the blessings of the Lord of the Lords. This induced us to a question that earlier we heard something called as Rajoguna and Sattvic Guna. What do we mean by all this? So Lord Krishna elaborated further that there are three types of gunas, namely Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. And Kama envelops all these three types of jivas, which means each of our jiva, that you, your soul, my soul, your friend's soul, somebody else's soul, is all engulfed with Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic gunas. And Kama is further enveloping all three of these. Let's discuss this through an example for better clarity. Smoke encloses the fire. Similarly, Kama envelops the Sattvikas, but to a very lesser extent. In case of Rajasas, it is like filth encompassing the surface of a mirror. And finally, the Tamasas, it is similar to the fetus enwrapped by the womb. What we understand here is, the Kama makes very little impact on Sattvic souls or Sattvic jivas. Kama makes slightly more impact on Rajasic souls, and Kama completely makes a big impact on Tamasic souls. Right? And where basically each soul has a combination, but the content may vary. For example, yogis may have almost like 90% Sattvic and maybe 5 to 6% of Rajasic and maybe 2 to 3% of Tamasic. For a wicked person, it may be completely converse or reverse. And therefore, we need to understand how they impact them. Because as you see, as filth obstructs the image in the mirror, when Kama is confined in a jiva, the person loses the sense about himself. This is what happens in a Rajasic soul. Whereas in a Tamasic soul, just as the fetus can't act upon freely when it is covered by the womb, so a jiva is veiled in Kama, he loses his mental strength completely. To defeat this notorious enemy Kama, one has to know where it is established and with what weapons can it be mercilessly murdered. So Lord Krishna continues, for the enemy Kama, the sensory organs and the minds are the basis. So the one who wishes to win over the Kama has to first win over the sensory organs and the mind. Now this brings us to the very most important topic known as Taratamya Jnana. With this knowledge only, we can easily frustrate the Kama. So look at his. Here is the complete list of the Taratamya. It starts from position number 1, which belongs to Lord Vishnu, who is Hari Sarvottama. Then second belongs to Goddess Lakshmi, Nitya Muktalu. Now Goddess Lakshmi, even today, till date, has been trying to understand the infinite qualities of Vishnu. So you can imagine the difference between Goddess Lakshmi and Lord Vishnu. It is unimaginable. It is still huge. However, Goddess Lakshmi is still way high in the hierarchy. And you can see a word called as Nitya Muktalu, which means she is ever liberated. Whereas all of us, we are not liberated and we are still trying hard to reach moksha. And that is the perceptible knowledge of Parmatma. In the third position, we have got Lord Brahma and Lord Vayu. Fourth position, Saraswati and Bharati, who are the respective wives of Brahmadev and Vayu. In fifth, we have Garuda, Shesha and Rudra. Sixth, we have got Shanmahishis of Krishna, that is the 6 wives. Then seventh, we have Sauparni, Varani and Parvati, who are respectively the wives of Garuda, Shesha and Rudra. Eighth position, we come to Indra. You see, Indra, who is the king of heaven, what we say, or Swargaloka, that we say. So Indra comes in 8th position, right? Then there are 9, 10, 11, so on and so forth. All these positions are there, where you will find different types of deities who are coming, whether it is the sun god, whether it is the wind god, water god, so on and so forth. Whereas all the rishis, maharishis, you will find them. Look at Ganapati, one of the famous god that we have, comes in the 18th kaksha or the 18th slot that we say, right? Then we have got, many others who are coming around 24, 25, 26. So you see all these coming. Finally, if you see 28, you have got Pitrus, who are our forefather Pitru gods, who are our forefather gods. Then Gandharvas, who come in 29. Manushya Gandharvas come in 30. And Chakravartis come in 31. And finally, we who are part of the Manushyottamas, which is Nara, Bhuchara, Khechara, Krimi and Truna, we all come as part of the 32. So please understand that where we stand and where Lord Parmatma stands. This also brings us to an important level that sometimes we get stuck in our life and we are trying to praise somebody or please somebody in the, let's say position number 18, or let's say position number 8, or position number 20. So what will happen? So in between, if you try to please somebody, then what is going to happen is you will get limited rewards. You will not get the ultimate rewards. Paramatma is your soul father, and therefore if you please number 1, then you see the unimaginable reward of moksha itself you will receive. So this is a knowledge that each one of us should have. It doesn't undermine the position of the respective people in the respective positions, but one must be clear of this knowledge that, let's say Ganpati in 18 is there, is not the full and final and everything stops there. No, he is equally important, but what lies inside from there and upwards is more important for all of us to understand. To summarize this, Lord Krishna has broken it into steps where it says Bhuta Abhimani Devatas, where is basically for all this, earth, air, fire, water, ether, Bhuta Abhimani Devatas. These are the ones: Dhara Devi, Lord Shani, Budha, Swaha Devi, Parjanya, and Lord Ganpati. Whereas for Indriya Abhimani Devatas, our Indriyas, Pancha Indriyas are there, Pancha Karmendriyas are there, Pancha Indriyas are there. So for them, they are Dig Abhimanis are Ahankara Prana, Surya, Varuna, Ashwini, Agni, Indra, Jayanta, Mitra, and Daksha Prajapati. Then comes the next level of Pancha Tanmatra Abhimani Devatas, followed by Mano Abhimani Devatas, that is our mind controllers, Garuda, Shesha, and Rudra. Then Buddhi Abhimani Devatas, which is our intellect, which is Saraswati Devi and Bharati Devi. Then finally the Bhat Tattva, which is Lord Brahma and Vayu, and Avyakta Tattva, which is beyond, is called as Rama Devi, Goddess Lakshmi, and the Lord of Lords, all of them, the supreme power is Lord Sri Hari, Lord Vishnu. No one is equal to his stature. This is the clear Taratamya. If you have this jnana, then Kala Nemi, which is Tattva Abhimani Daitya, will have very less impact on you. To summarize the third chapter, we learned points like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Marga, and Jnana Marga. We understood the difference between Jnana Yogis and Karma Yogis, and why as a leader it's important to perform karmas. We also understood about Vishwa Chakra and sustainability, Tattva Abhimani Devatas and 3 gunas, lust, that is Kama and its impact, and last but not the least, Taratamya Jnana to frustrate Kama. So my dear friends, I hope we are able to get deeper into the Tattva, or the insights of Sri Bhagavad Gita and try to understand Paramatma in entirety. Thank you very much. Look forward to joining all of you again soon. Sri Krishnarpanamastu.